pradayakam Gurung Narayanaktyam tang vande vinoda prashtakam Yatpada smriti matrena damodara prasidati Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratvishe namaha He Krishna karuna sindhu dinabandha jagatpate Gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta namostute Sapta kanchana gaurangi radhe vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu sute devi pranamami hari priye Bhaktya vihina aparadha lakshay kshiptasya kamadita ranga madhya Kripa maitvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhajami radham aravinda netra Smarami radham madhura smitasyam Vadami radham karuna varadam Tato mamanyasti gatir nakapi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my Sastananda Pranam thousands of times in the lotuses of Shri Paramaradhidam Guru Pada Padma Vishnu Par Stotra Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Gurudev. Secondly, I offer my Sastananda Pranam thousands of times in the lotus feet of my Shri Rupananga Gauri Guru Varga. I offer my Sastananda Pranam to all the Sambhur Vaishnavas and Vaishnavi. Continuing reading from Shri Guru Darshan. We left off. Unexpected return, Shri Gurudev unexpectedly returns back to Tivaripur. And there, in the assembly, Shri Gurudev is being requested to perform bhajan at home, citing examples like Prahlad Maharaj and Ambarish Maharaj and the Pandas, etc. And that if he were to leave home, if he were to leave now, he would be indebted to everyone. This would be a great sin. Now Gurudev in return, he's replying that Devarsi bhutapte meenam pitrinam nakim karanayam rinecharaja sarvatmanaya sharanam saranyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. O king, that person who has fully surrendered to Mukunda, supreme shelter of all, is not indebted to the demigods, to ascetics, to the forefathers, to friends and relatives, or to any ordinary living being. He is the servant of Mukunda alone. Unable to challenge this quotation from scripture, the Pandits changed tact and advised Gurudev. If you don't want to be a householder, then you can remain at home as a celibate and serve God there. By observing celibacy, you will become powerful like your paternal grandfather, Gorakhnath, who, while being very religious, also possesses great prowess. He can pull loaded carts out of the mud with his bare hands and can break apart two fighting bulls determined to kill each other. The elephant is also strong, Gurudev replied, but no amount of physical strength can help one attain the highest goal of life, pure devotion to God. Shri Gurudev then quoted the Bhagavatam verse, 11th canto, chapter 9, verse 29. Labdvas durlabam idam bahu sambhavante manusham artidam anityam api hadira turnam yatetana patet anumritya yavam nishayasya vishaya kalu sarvadasya nishayasya vishaya kalu sarvadasya. This human form is extremely rare and achieved after many births. Although gratification of the senses is available in any form of life, the human birth, despite its impermanence, alone provides a chance to attain the supreme goal of spiritual perfection. And the intelligent person will therefore not delay even for a moment before death to endeavor for the ultimate auspiciousness. To this the Pandits replied, "Who is to say you can't perfect life here at home? Look at the example of Prahlad Maharaj. He had darshan of Bhagavan at home. Prahlad Maharaj heard Harikatha for 60,000 years from his spiritual master, Narayana Rishi, the dear devotee of Lord Narayan. Shri Gurudev said, by this it is seen that the darshan of Bhagavan could only be attained by high-class sadhu sangha. Dhruv also saw Bhagavan after receiving the mercy of Narayana Rishi. Hence I took shelter at the lotus feet of a liberated Guru in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, which sent from Krishna himself to Brahma, Narayana Rishi, Vyasdev, Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, down to the present day. A Pandit then requested Srila Gurudev to describe what he knew of the philosophies of the different Sampradayas. Gurudev explained the core philosophy of Vishishta Advaitavad, that is specialized monism, along with the philosophies of Kevala Advaitavad, that is exclusive monism, Suddha Advaitavad, purified monism, and Dvaita Advaita or Dvaitavad, dualism, and Acintya bheda tattva, inconceivable, simultaneous difference, oneness and non-difference. He told the assembly that the Kevala Advaita teaching of Shankaracharya is the conception that the absolute truth, known as Brahma, is impersonal and devoid of form and attributes. The soul is ultimately identical with Brahma, and this world is illusory. Jagat Satya, Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya, Brahma Jiva Aikana Para. This world is false, and Brahma is eternal. There is no difference between the Jiva and Brahma. This is their philosophy. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, Brahma Jiva Aikana Para. This is what is also known as Mayavad. According to Sri Ramanujacharya, Suddha Advaita, the living entities and material cosmos are specialities of the absolute truth, but eternally distinct from him. Sri Madhvacharya's Dvaitavad declares that there are 5 eternal differences. In Ramanujacharya's Vishishta Dvaitavad, the Jiva and Maya are like adjectives. Adjectives to the noun. An adjective means that thing which qualifies or describes the noun. For instance, if you have a lotus flower, then the noun is the lotus. But if we say blue lotus, now the word blue, the adjective blue is describing and qualifying the nature of that lotus. It is blue in color. You could say a big blue lotus. Now there's another second adjective. It's very big in size. Now we're getting more information about that object. So, similarly, if Bhagavan is the noun, Supreme Lord is the noun, then the Jiva and Maya are like adjectives to Bhagavan that help describe and help us understand what is the absolute truth. In other words, in the Lord's creation, the Lord is not alone. He has created this external, illusory, material world. And He has created the innumerable, countless Jivas. And they are all connected to Bhagavan. They are not separated from Him. They are all connected with Him. Connected to Him through His potencies. Therefore, in Vishishta Advaitavad, it is said that the Jiva and Maya are transformation of Brahma itself. Transformation of the Supreme Lord. This is, in essence, what is Shuddha Advaitavad. But Madhvacharya's Advaitavad declares that there are 5 eternal differences. 1, the difference between the eternal living entities and God. This is Jiva and Bhagavan. It's a clear difference. Madhvacharya is explaining. Between individual souls, Jiva and Jiva. 2 Jivas are not the same, they are different. They are individuals. 3, God and matter, that means Bhagavan and Maya. There's a difference there also. 4. Between matter and matter, that means Maya and Maya. 2 objects in this material world are not the same thing. Even though they may be of the same class, same category, same classification, they are 2 distinct objects. Like 2 apples. Both of them are apples, they are one in that sense. But the apple on the left and the apple on the right, they are 2 separate objects. You cannot say that they are one object. And 5, between matter and the living entities, Maya and Jiva. There is a eternal difference between Maya and Jiva. This is the Nitya bheda, eternal differences that Madhvacharya has proclaimed. These 5 differences are eternally existing, always there. It's easy to understand. The difference between Bhagavan and Jiva is very clear. Bhagavan is full of potency and we are devoid of potency. Maya is always under the control of Bhagavan, but we are under the control of Maya. It's foolish to think that the Jiva is one with Brahma, one with Bhagavan. The tasks of creation, maintenance and destruction all performed by the Lord. How many here can raise your hand if you can create unlimited billion universes? Raise your hand if you can maintain this universe. Raise your hand if you can destroy this universe. It's impossible. We can destroy our own lives, that much we can do. We can try to maintain this body to some extent. And we can also create. We can create objects, we can create progeny. But everything is very minute and limited. So there is a clear difference between Jiva and Bhagavan. And between Jiva and Jiva there is a clear difference there also. The person on the left is eating an apple, and the person sitting next to him, the person on the right will not taste that apple. If I'm eating some ice cream, then no one in the audience will be able to taste the ice cream when I'm eating it. You'll have to go get your own ice cream and eat it yourself. Then you can taste it. So there's a clear difference between you and me. My experience, the experience of one Jiva and the experience of another Jiva is unique. So there's an eternal difference between Jiva and Jiva. Even though we are one caste, we are Amritasya Putrasya. We are all Mama Vamsi Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all Angsas of Bhagavan. We are all particles in the rays of sun coming from Sri Krishna. We are all his sons and daughters. So we are one family. We are one Gotra. God's family. But everyone is unique, individual. Then that is the case also in the spiritual world. Everyone in the spiritual world has praying for Bhagavan. But that prayer takes on new and new forms. And Krishna relishes that prayer of his parikas in different ways as it manifests in their heart. Then God and matter. The clear distinction between God and his creation, Krishna and his Maya Shakti. We see that when the Lord he comes into this world and that Maya Shakti is fully under his control. He's not subjected to the laws of nature like everyone else is subjected. Krishna, when he came in by his will, he would show his Vishwarup, his universal form. And Krishna could do things which are impossible for any ordinary living entity. In other words, the Maya Shakti was completely under his control. He was not affected by the Maya potency. Also, in his form as Mahavishnu, all the unlimited billion universes are coming out of his skin pores of his skin. And even though those universes are coming out of him, he is in full control of them. At the same time, he can pull them back into himself. If we sweat some water from our skin pores, you cannot pull that sweat back into your body. But with Bhagavan, that is not the case. Every single part of his body is eternal and connected to him. There's nothing that is not connected to him. And he's in full control of his potencies. Therefore, he's the master of Maya. He's not subjected to it in any way. The fact that Shakti Matada Bear, that potency and possessor of the potency are one, and we can say that Bhagavan is Maya Shakti and one in that sense. But we clearly see there's an eternal difference. The variety and things that happen in this world, the independence that the jivas misuse in this world, that had nothing to do with Maya, that had nothing to do with Bhagavan. Bhagavan here himself is against all the independent activities of the jivas, and therefore he creates the hellish planets, punish them. So, therefore it describes in the scriptures that Bhagavan, he enters into this world in the form of the super soul as Paramatma, and he witnesses the activities of the jiva but does not interfere. Whereas the Paramatma, he gives inspiration, remembrance, forgetfulness to the jivas. He has many functions. The super soul of all the sum total of all the material universes, that is Karana Dakashaya Vishnu. That Vishnu which is lying on the Karana ocean, the causal ocean. Then as he creates all the unlimited million universes, then he enters into each one of those universes as Garbha Dakashaya Vishnu. Garbha Dakashaya Vishnu. Garbha means sweat, Daka means ocean, Shai means sleeping. That Vishnu who is sleeping, resting on the ocean of sweat. As he enters into the universe, he sweats, and he fills up half the universe, and then he lays on that ocean of sweat. And from his navel, lotus flower stems, sprouts. And on the top of that lotus flower, the first created living entity, Brahma, is born. And within the lotus stem of that, within that lotus stem, the 14 planes of this universe are created, from Brahmalok all the way down to Patalok. Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is the super soul of each individual universe, and he maintains that universe. If Garbhodakashaya Vishnu would not be there, the universe would not exist. He maintains it. Then, finally, Vishnu expands himself into Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. That is the Vishnu which is lying on the Milky Ocean, within that material universe. And from there, he enters into the heart of all the living entities as Paramatma, as Antaryami, and he witnesses the activities of the living entities. The analogy is given that there is a tree. In that tree there are two parrots, two birds. One bird is sitting on the branch, eating the fruits of that tree, eating the sweet mangoes of that tree. And the other parrot is sitting there on another branch and is watching the other bird eating. So the bird that is eating the fruits, that is the jiva. The jiva enters into this world, and he performs karma, and he tries to enjoy the fruits of his labor. And the other bird, who is that? That is Paramatma. He's nearby, he's sitting in the heart of each individual living entity, and he's witnessing and watching what the living entity is doing. And through thick and thin, that other bird, that Paramatma, is there in the heart of the living entity. He never leaves, he never forsakes or abandons the living entities, and goes with him everywhere. To heaven, to hell, anywhere. And he witnesses, and he inspires the living entity. Gives them inspiration, forgetfulness. They said that the jiva, when he enters into sleep, deep sleep, the jiva, he becomes totally forgetfulness of everything. Deep sleep is such a state that you're unaware of your own existence. And the only way the jiva can come out of that deep sleep is that if the Paramatma inspires him to wake up. Otherwise the jiva would forever remain in that sleep. It's described. For the super soul, has his own unique function. And there's an eternal difference between Jiva and Bhagavan. And therefore we can see there's an eternal difference between Bhagavan and Maya also. Bhagavan, as the Purusha avatars, he is connected to this in his Maya Shakti, but simultaneously he is also aloof from it. These are 5 eternal differences, explained by Madhvacharya ji. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and harmonized the teaching of all these acharyas into the perfect philosophy of the absolute truth, known as Acintya bheda tattva. Inconceivable, simultaneous difference and non-difference. So Mahaprabhu saw all of these things. There is oneness, there is difference. How to harmonize, how to reconcile? Then he explained it through his philosophy that relationship between all of these, through Bhagavan, Jiva and Maya, it is inconceivable. You cannot conceive of it through your mind and your intellect. It is simultaneously one and it is simultaneously different. But that oneness and that difference, how it exists simultaneously, it is inconceivable. Acintya means Veda Buddhigami. The only way you can conceive of it is through the words of the scriptures for the Vedas. In other words, have faith in the words of the scriptures and just follow those. Follow what is said there. If you cannot philosophically understand it, then you will have to reconcile it through the process of your samadhi, through your bhajan. So, and he said, this is not a vad, this is a tattva. The other philosophies of the acharyas, they are vads. Dvaita vad, Shuddha Dvaita vad, Vishishta Dvaita vad, Dvaita Dvaita vad. Vad means a theory. But Mahaprabhu is not establishing any kind of theory here. He is establishing the truth. That is tattva. So he did not call it Acintya Bheda Bheda Vad, he said Acintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. This is the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. This is true in all ways. And he harmonized their teachings. In these other philosophies, it is described that Brahma himself transforms. Brahma transforms into the Jiva, into Brahma, into Maya. And there is a natural relationship between them. And everything is described to be a transformation of Brahma itself. But Mahaprabhu said no. How can Brahma transform? They said that Brahma is Nirvikar, Nirvishesh, Nishakti, Nirgun. All these statements of the Shrutis should be honored and respected. Shankaracharya took these statements and used them to propagate his Mayavad philosophy, neglecting the other statements of the scripture describing the personal forms of the Lord. So he used this. He quoted them out of context to fulfill his own ambitions and views. Mahaprabhu, he was not like that. He said, no, these statements are there, therefore they must be explained also. We cannot hide them under the rug and put them behind the curtain and get away with it in that way. But you'll have to address everything. Otherwise, a doubt will remain there in the heart of the jiva. All points should be explained. And the Shrutis can be explained. And the explanation is that there is simultaneously oneness and difference. And for that transformation of Brahma takes place through the medium of his potency. Brahma himself directly does not transform, but his potency transforms. Therefore, instead of Vastu Parinamvad, he said there is Shakti Parinamvad. Transformation takes place in the Shakti itself. And that Bhagavan, he remains aloof from that Shakti, even though he is simultaneously and eternally connected to that Shakti. So when Mahavishnu, when Krishna equips himself with the Chit Shakti, that he manifests the spiritual worlds. And when Baladev Prabhu when the Lord situates himself in the Jiva Shakti, Baladev situates in the Jiva Shakti, then the living entities are manifest. When the Lord situates himself in the Maya Shakti through Mahavishnu, then this Maya Jagat is created. So in this way, the Lord is simultaneously, the transformation is happening through his potencies, through his Shaktis. And Bhagavan, he remains completely aloof of that. For Krishna said, Chaturvarnam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasa Kartaram Abhi Vidya Kartaram Abhyayam. So that know that I have created these four varnas, but also know that I am also not the creator. I am not the doer of this. So the Lord is explaining these things in the Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because why does the Lord have to create these four varnas? Because of the jivas. And the jivas, because they have turned their face away from the Lord. This is a naimitic lila. This is a temporary situation for the jiva. It's not the eternal natural state of the Atma to be averse of the Lord. Therefore, due to circumstance, the Lord has to create these four varnas. Therefore, he's saying that I'm not the creator. Jivas, you have created these four varnas. You are the cause of the creation of these varnas because you have turned your face away from me. Therefore, only to assist you and help you, therefore I have manifested these varnas. But really, you are the real root cause. Like tomorrow is Advaita Saptami. Shukam Shivratri. So this topic of Nimitta Karan, Upadan Karan will come up. The ingredient cause and the instrumental cause for creation. And you see that something is instrumental, something is the ingredient. The instrumental means that is that which is cause, the real cause. And the ingredient cause is the by which it is taking place. So many different examples are given. Like Gurudev says that someone creates a disturbance in an assembly. Then the guards of that assembly come and they take sticks and they beat that person and they throw him out. Then what is the cause of that person's beating? Someone may say, oh, the sticks caused the beating. Yes, the sticks did cause the beating. The sticks are hitting him and he's getting bruised. The sticks are only the ingredient, the medium. Someone will be more intelligent and say, no, it's the gatekeepers. They are the cause. If they are welding the sticks, they are using the sticks to beat. Yes, in that sense, that is also true. But in one sense, they are also only an instrument. Why? The real cause is that person's karma. His misdoings, his misdeeds. He's misused his independence and he's created a disturbance in the society, in the assembly. And now, due to that disturbance or misuse of his independence, now the doorkeepers are forced to beat that person and throw him out. So they are also only an instrument. Gurudev, he takes the advantage of said that someone may order, oh, take that person and throw him out. So someone may argue, oh, the person who's giving the order is the instrument. No. It is that person, it is his own karma. So, therefore, this is known as Acintya bheda tattva. These are the causes of his creation. The instrumental cause and the ingredient cause. On the basis of the Vedic scripture, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu illuminated that Krishna and Srimati Radharani together constitute the absolute truth. Krishna and his potency are inseparable, as heat and light cannot be separated from fire. Krishna himself does not transform into the living entities and material energy, whose potency performs this function. Thus, by the transformation of Krishna's inconceivable, inseparable potency, everything is simultaneously one with and different from him. Gurudev concluded, the other philosophies are known as Vad, theories, while the Acintya bheda tattva philosophy is a conclusive truth or tattva. All other conceptions are included within Mahaprabhu's philosophy, as phases of the moon are within the full moon. And it is glorious by the predominance of pure devotion to Shri Krishna. This is the conception of my Guru Maharaj. The majority of those who had intended to conceive convinced Gurudev to remain at home, were impressed by his knowledge, firm faith and devotion. They told his parents they were lucky to have such intelligent son, and returned to their residences after honoring Prasad. And Gurudev is explaining these things and people are all becoming impressed of Gurudev's devotion and his understanding and knowledge of all the scriptures. The family Guru spoke with Pandit Tiwari in private saying, Bengalis have done some black magic on your son. You have to remove this belt and then he'll go back to normal. Especially in India, Bengalis, they're famous for black magic. You go on the bus, on the train, here and there you see posters stuck on the walls. Bengali tantric, Bengali black magic. You need help with this problem, that problem, marriage, daughter, convincing a loved one, your competition, this, that, come to me, I'll sort everything out. Yeah, do some black magic. So if any problem comes, then a lot of people are dying, and it's very serious, and then nothing is working, then the people, they'll go to these tantrics, these Bengali doctors, witch doctors. And then they'll do something, and then because they're already convinced in their mind that they're very, very powerful. Then whatever that person does, then it works. The mind is the ultimate friend and enemy of the jiva. The mind is very, very powerful. It is said in Ayurveda that actually there are only 108 diseases, and they're all stomach related, to the digestion. And all other are created by the mind itself. The mind is so powerful. You think you have cancer, you'll get cancer. If you think I'm sick, I'm sick, then you'll always be sick. You'll never get better. It doesn't matter how a million doctors give you administrative medicine and give you treatment, this and that. As long as there's some condition for you to getting better, then until that condition is met, then whatever that condition is in mind, you will not get better. Even though the medicine may be working, but you're convincing yourself you're sick then. Some other illness will manifest in a different way in your body. It's called psychosomatic. By your own mind, you're creating your own problems. And if you meditate and think of this problem and that problem, then you will attract those problems also into your life. So if you think of a snake will come. Mind is so powerful. If you think of ghosts will come. It's so powerful. So if you think of the opposite sex, they will also come. Maya is like that. It's so powerful. The mind can do anything. It is the king of all the senses. Therefore, people, they are controlled, they are bound by their own mind. Therefore, taking intelligence, using the sword of intelligence, one has to control the mind. But ultimately it's impossible without pure devotion. Without engaging the mind in devotion service, the mind can never be happy. But by using one's intelligence, one can step back and think, situation, am I doing this right or wrong? One can pull oneself away from one's mind in any situation. But still, the mind follows the heart. And whatever samskar, whatever emotion is there, then the mind likes to follow that. In that time, often the mind will not listen to one's intelligence. So they think, Gurudev he's very strong. He's speaking so much philosophy. And they're saying that it's very difficult to convince Srila Gurudev. He's been living in Bengal. They've done some magic on him. Come to this conclusion now. We have to do something. The family guru spoke with Pandit Tiwari in private, saying, Bengalis have done some black magic on your son. You have to remove the spell. Then he will go back to normal. Where is the black magic? It is in two places. The pouch he puts his hand in to chant, and the 3 strands of tulsi bead he wears around his neck. While he is sleeping, taking his chanting beads and cut his neck. While he is sleeping, take his chanting beads and cut his neck beads off. Take both and throw them in the Ganga. Then Narayan's mind will be rectified. So sometimes it is true that some object has some empowerment in it and it will affect the living entity. And until that object is removed, then the living entity will not be free from the spell of that kavacha. It can be a protective kavacha, it can also be a curse. So they have come to the conclusion that Gurudev's neck beads and his japamala, these are the things which is bewildering him. Pandit Tiwari held a secret family council to discuss how to alter Gurudev's renounced disposition. Although pleased he was home, they feared he would leave again. Pandit Tiwari said, he has shaved his head and mustache. This signifies that his parents are deceased to him. Guruji has said the Bengalis he was living with are powerful yogis who used mystic power and black magic to influence him. Now he has come back, but surely a spell has been placed on him that will make him restless to leave. He is wearing 3 strands of tulsi beads around his neck and chants on tulsi beads in a cloth pouch. Guruji says these contain a charm to bewilder him into subservience, and we must cut them off while he sleeps. See, many times people they come to the temple but they don't want to accept any prasad, or they don't want to enter the temple. They're afraid that if I take the remnants of the Vaishnava, I take prasad from the temple, then I might become effective. I may also become detached from my family. And they don't come to the temple, they don't take prasad, they stay far away. They know that there is some power is there. That's why everyone is leaving their homes and they're joining, they're doing bhajan. So, they become afraid. They don't take. The family snuck into his room late at night, expecting him to be asleep, and sent his younger brother forward with a knife to cut off his beads. Srila Gurudev habitually slept with his hands clasped around his bead bag on his chest, and a chadar around his neck. His younger brother was perplexed and didn't know how to proceed. He quietly crept to Srila Gurudev's bedside. It seemed like several minutes passed as he anxiously considered what to do next. Just then Srila Gurudev's eyes opened and their eyes met. Seeing his brother ready to cut off his beads, he angrily said, "If you cut off my tulsi beads, then I'll cut my throat." "Is that what you want?" "No," he replied in surprise. "You don't understand. There is a charm on your beads, bewildering you. Please remove them so they don't have control over you." "I am in my right mind," Gurudev said, "and I will never allow anyone to remove my tulsi." This awkward moment did not prevent the family from attempting to carry out their plot. After 2 more unsuccessful attempts, Pandit Tiwari received insight. One night, while Pandit Tiwari was sleeping, he had a dream in which he heard an aerial voice. "Sriman Narayan is my pure devotee. He was born in this world solely to serve me. I sent Mahalakshmi to plant your crop while he was searching for your son, so that there would be no shortage in your home. Now let Sriman Narayan do his bhajan without any disturbance." Pandit Tiwari then heard the verse his son had quoted the previous day. "Devarshi bhutapte ninam pritrinam. Na kinkara nayam nicharam. Sarvatmaya saranam saranyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam." He who has fully surrendered to me, Mukunda, is not indebted to any being. I compensate all his debts. What worry do you have? Your son has niskinchan bhakti for Guru and Bhagavan. He is empowered with all good qualities, and those related to him will have no shortage of necessities. You did not even plant many grains, still everything has grown better than ever. So what is your worry? Leave your son be. Pandit Tiwari awoke and went to his fields. He saw that the entire paddy crop had been reaped and stacked. He searched to find out who had done the work, but everyone was just as perplexed as he. The next day, when he went out to begin separating the husk from the grain, he found the full crop had already been threshed and packed in bags, and the stalks stacked neatly nearby. First he had wondered, who planted the paddy? And now he thought, who planted, reaped and threshed and sorted it all? The entire family had been absorbed in searching for the whereabouts of their beloved Sriman Narayan. And once he was found, they celebrated, neglecting the harvest. Miraculously, all the work had been done. Srila Gurudev spent his time at home, eager to return to the ashram of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Sai Maharaj. During the day, he spent most of the time in spiritual practices and took his meals separately in his study room. He rose early every day and went to the Ganga. In the afternoons, he taught school subjects to his younger siblings and also read them stories from scripture. One afternoon in January 1948, his younger brother and sister came to him for their daily studies. Gurudev said he was not feeling well and would not teach them that day. When his mother brought Gurudev's evening meal, he declined the prasad. The next morning around 9, Pandit Tiwari sent his youngest son to check Gurudev's condition and see if he needed any help or medicine, for he had not risen to greet the family, and it was late. Gurudev slept on a wooden cot, laid with simple padding, and a mosquito net hanging over the 4 corners. Entering the study room, the boy approached Gurudev's bed. Seeing blankets covering Srila Gurudev's body, the boy thought, he must be really sick to cover his head. Lifting the cover, he saw only straw filling. He dashed back to the house with the devastating announcement that Gurudev was gone. For many days, Gurudev had been contemplating how to leave without disturbing his family. The previous night, he had stuffed straw under his blankets and slipped out of the house unseen. He decided not to go to the local train station for fear that someone would recognize him and inform the family that he was leaving. Instead, he went through a dangerous forest that was inhabited by ferocious ghosts, resembling buffaloes, bulls, and fierce beasts of prey. No one from that area would set foot in the forest at night. Wearing only a dhoti and a chadar, and carrying his tulsi mala, while incessantly chanting, Srila Gurudev fearlessly crossed through the forest without event. Arriving at the train station far from his village in the early morning, Gurudev purchased a ticket for Navadip. Upon arrival, he walked to Devananda Gaudiya. When Gurudev left for the second time, his family became distraught, and they travelled to Devghat, hoping to find him there. Not finding Gurudev, they sent out search parties to the Gaudiya ashrams in Bengal. and discovered their son was staying in Navadip as Devananda Gauriman. Gurudev's parents visited him there and begged him to return, but he was determined to remain in Navadip under the tutelage of Acharya Kesari. Seeing that he could not be swayed, his father requested him, "We have one last wish. Before we leave our bodies, please visit us one last time." Srila Gurudev agreed, and with deep sadness his mother and father returned home. Their last hope vanished. They had been defeated. How could they convince Gurudev to return when their fields were full of grain? If not for the inexplicable rice crop, there is no saying what the Tivaris would have done to bring Gurudev back to the farm. For Biharis are known to be fiercely indignant and slow to pardon. The Tivaris' affairs carried on without difficulty, for it is said that Bhagavan engages 330 million demigods in the service of those who surrender everything to him. The people of Tivaripur and neighboring villages were inspired by Bhagavan to selflessly assist the Tivaris with their fields and crops. Soon Srila Gurudev's brothers were old enough to maintain the farm, and his sisters were married into respectable families. Gurudev's 3 daughters were reared successfully and also married into reputable families. When Srila Gurudev first left home, the people of Tivaripur were anti-agnostic and condemned him for leaving his family and young children. Years later they realized his glories and many sought his counsel, eventually accepting Harinam and Diksha from him. They realized Srila Gurudev was not an ordinary person, rather he was a liberated soul who had mercifully appeared in their village. That is an explanation of how Gurudev then finally he was able to leave his house completely. You can see also yesterday was the appearance of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Raghunandan Thakur, Vishnu Priya Devi and Raghunath Das Goswami. The disappearance of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj. You can see many similarities to Gurudev leaving his house, also to the passage of Raghunath Das Goswami. How much trouble and difficulty Raghunath Das Goswami had to undergo to leave his house. And even after he had left, and he had come to Jagannath Puri, then his parents were still attached to him, sent him servants and money and everything, and tried to maintain a relationship with him. But ultimately also because of Raghunath Das Goswami's one-pointedness. And slowly they also forgot about him, or stopped pursuing him in that way. And this, you can see, this is true with any relationship in this world. Ultimately, all relationships in this world are based on selfishness. If there's something, advantage to be received, some happiness to be attained, then people want to maintain that relationship. But as soon as someone foresees distress or undergoes some difficulty, then that relationship breaks. People give up that relationship. Very hard to see selfless and selfless dedication in this world, especially for one jiva to another. It is impossible. Really, only selfless dedication can be shown to Bhagavan. But as long as we're living in this world, there are some modes and rules and codes we have to follow. Therefore, but because of the jiva's selfish desire, they break all of these rules and codes and morals. Therefore, this common thing you can see. If in India, for instance, mother and father, they have a child. They want a boy, they don't get a girl, they take the girl and they throw it into the river. Or they leave it here. Or if they don't have money simply to maintain the child, even if it's a boy, they'll place it on the doorstep somewhere here and there, some ashram. When they're considering their own happiness, therefore their relationship it breaks. Or some husband and wife may be married. Then if there is some cause for breaking the relationship, some difficulty, then the relationship it breaks. And therefore we can see that these relations, they're all temporary. Therefore, people also who try to come to the temple, then first the parents, okay, so many difficulties. Oh, why are you leaving me? This, that. This obstacle, that obstacle. But ultimately, finally, when one leaves home and they come to the temple, then one's relatives and family, then they slowly they begin to forget. In the beginning, they'll try to maintain contact. They'll send you letters, this, that. But after some time, they'll see that you're one-pointed and dedicated to your bhajan, serving God. Then they'll stop pursuing you. They'll forget you. They'll stop writing to you. You will not have to reject your family members will reject you. For renunciation is very easy. Apply your mind and heart to the service of Bhagavan, and you see, all those people who are materially, who are so-called friends and family members, your so-called mother and father, brother and sister, they'll forget about you. They'll stop writing to you, they'll stop asking about you, your welfare. They'll not even come to visit you. Why? Because they see you as an obstacle to their own enjoyment. They are averse to Bhagavan, they are engaged in enjoying their senses, trying to attain insignificant material happiness, working, spending their money, engaging in illicit sex life, intoxication, this and that. They see that you have taken up the path of righteousness, devotion. Therefore they say, oh, I will not maintain any relation. They do not want to maintain a relationship with you. Because your lifestyle is completely opposite to them. We are trying to pursue a lifestyle of selfless dedication. And they are pursuing a lifestyle of selfishness, selfish dedication. We are pursuing a lifestyle of selfless dedication. They are pursuing a lifestyle of selfish dedication. So therefore you see, your own family members will reject you. You will not have to do anything. And the simple test of proof will be, if your family members ever contact you, you say, oh, come to India. There is sadhus are here. Harikatha is going on. The Dham, Mahaprasad, Thakurji is here. Please come, visit. Please come, chant the holy name. They'll never reply to you. They'll never even want to talk to you. Oh, I'll have to come to India. I'll have to associate with the sadhus. Oh, better I don't reply to this email now. You see, their real love, their real affection for you will then now become manifest. Now they are exposed. It's all been false from the very beginning. Temporary love, temporary relation. Not real. Doesn't hold up to the standard. Doesn't hold up to the test. When Bhagavan is placed in the middle, then they go running away. This is so-called relation, so-called love, so-called affection in this material world. Doesn't stand up to the scrutiny of pure love, pure selfless dedication. Therefore it is so simple. You don't need to worry about your family, friends and this and your material attachment. Just engage and become attached to the Lord. Begin serving Him in a selfless way, then all these material attachments will all break away by themselves. You don't have to do anything. As we can see in Gurudev's life, here, how they are so much attached and so much looking after Gurudev, searching for Gurudev, this and that. And finally they realize Gurudev is performing his bhajan, there's nothing we can do. And then they left him alone. They stopped trying to bring him back and go down with their own lives. In Raghunath Das Swami's life history, there are many, many nice, wonderful things that described. There's a whole another class in itself. Glory to Srimati Vishnupriya Devi. She is Gaur Shakti. Manifest on this Panchami Tithi. And it is said that the renunciation of Vishnupriya Devi was more than that of Mahaprabhu himself. After Mahaprabhu had left, Vishnupriya Devi, she said the sun never could not even see her shadow. She was so chaste and so one-pointed to her bhajan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, worshipping the name deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She would chant Harinam, and when she would finish, she would chant the holy name, and for each holy name she would take one grain of rice, and she would wash it with her tears. And then, after she chanting so much Sankhya, a fixed amount of rounds, then whatever rice grains were there, she would wash that, offer bow, give something to Sachimata Devi, and whatever was little bit was left, then she would take that. She was so renounced. And She's described to be the embodiment of Bhakti herself, Bhakti Devi, Navara Bhakti. She's Bhakti Devi herself. Therefore, if one wants to understand what is devotional service, how to be one-pointed, how to form bhajan in separation, what is transcendental anurag, then one would have to pray to the lotus feet of Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. Then by her mercy, by her blessings, then we can understand something of what is anurag, pure devotion, one-pointed devotion. What is prem? What is prem in separation? For the sadhaka, the separation is the most important thing. It is that separation which will burn all the anarthas that are there in the heart. In times of when one is always around Guru and Vaishnava, for instance, an ordinary example, then there is some complacency. We take everything for granted. Everything is, this we heard just the other night, everything is going on. You don't consider how everything is going on. Who is washing the pots, who is collecting the money, who is buying the vegetables, who is offering. Think, oh, everything is coming. Meals are coming by themselves. They sit down and eat them, we walk off. You don't consider how everything is being ruled. All the programs, everything. Electricity, water, all this facility. We take everything on. Sadhu Sangha every day, Vaishnava is speaking Harikatha. Everything is taken for granted. But everything, we shouldn't take everything for granted. We should consider that, we should perform sadhana bhajan as if it is our last moment. Let's just say, think that you are 85 years old and perform sadhana bhajan in that mentality. Any moment I can die. My time is ready. I don't have much time left. Perform bhajan with that urgency. And with that understanding that everything is being, nothing comes by itself. So in me, but when there's separation from Guru Vaishnava, when the Guru Vaishnava is not here, and you have to do everything yourself, then you realize the value. There's no Harikatha here. There's no one washing the pots for themselves, no one doing the aratis, no one cutting the subjects, no one distributing the prasadam, no one cleaning the floors, no one maintaining the building. Then we realize, oh, how much endeavor, how much work has been put here to arrange this facility for Harikatha for all of us. The whole purpose of all of this is only for one reason, so we can, without any obstacle, freely perform Harikatha and Harikirtan. So when there is some separation, then we realize the value. And we don't take it for granted. Then when that meeting again takes place after that, then that meeting is far much sweeter, and we engage, and our love increases. So meeting and separation is the same thing. As long as there's no separation, then that meeting cannot be nourished, cannot be experienced in newer and newer ways. Therefore, Prem has two sides, one is meeting and one is separation. Vishnu Priya Devi is the embodiment of that Vipramanva, that separation from Mahaprabhu. I heard Kiran say was yesterday, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he said that Pundarik Vidyanidhi is Vishwabhanu Maharaj. There's so much respect for the Ganga, he never liked to go to the Ganga in the daytime. So you see that people will be there washing their buffaloes, and passing stool and urine and bathing and washing their cloth, this and that, playing and joking in the Ganga. He'll go there and he'll never allow the Ganga to touch his feet even. He'll just do puja and take some of that water on his head. So much respect and honor for the Ganga. And so and of course Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's glories, Raghunandan Thakur, he is the eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, son of Mukunda, Datta, Vasi of Shikanda. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's glories are unlimited. It says that Vishwanatha Sarupa So Bhakta Vatma Pradarshana Bhakta Chakra Varti Tattvat Chakravarti Akkeya Bhavat. That why is he called Vishwanath? Vishwanatha Sarupa So Bhakta Vatma Pradarshana, because he has shown and revealed the path of pure devotion to the whole world. Therefore he is called Vishwanath, and the master, the lord of this world. And why is he called Chakravarti? Bhakta Chakra Varti Tattvat Chakravart Akkeya Bhavat. He is known as Chakravarti. Why? Because he is there. He's in the center of the assembly of devotees, whom around that whole assembly revolves. He is the Chakravarti, the emperor, the foremost leader of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. If you look at a wheel, how does the wheel work? There has to be a spoke, and that is placed in the center. And around that spoke, the wheel revolves. So around the whole of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Society and Assembly, it revolves around Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Therefore he is known as Chakravarti, the leader, the emperor of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj, he is the General Parika Associate of Jagat Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So that he was very, very big and strong. See photos of him then. Everyone is standing there, one head is higher. So like Keshav. Stand there, then he is one head higher than everyone else. Big also, body, big strong body. And when he would speak, he have a big strong voice. And he was very practical. Prabhupada said when he was leaving this world, he said, "Oh, you are a very practical man. Take care of the mission," he said. And he's eternal associate is Bhakti Sri Rup Siddhanti Goswami Maharaj. Also a disciple of Prabhupada, but used to take shelter of Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj. He's very strong and strict. He used to beat Sri Rup Siddhanti Maharaj. Beat him left and right for doing a little mistake. He's so strong and so strict. And Prabhupada asked, who do you want to go with Bhiksha this time? Who do you want to go preaching with? Siddhanti Maharaj, Bharati Maharaj. Oh, why? He is beating you and he is mistreating you. No, he is doing for my welfare. Many, many nice glories. We'll stop here though. Time is running out and we'll continue tomorrow. Gaur Pramananda Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Pada Padma Ki Jai, Guru Parampara Ki Jai, Satchidanand Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Saparshada Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Guru Darshan Ki Jai, Nanda Gaudiya Vaishnava Ki Jai, Sama Veda Bhakti Ki Jai, Jai Gaur Pramananda Hari 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 Bol.
Als ich im Krankenhaus war. Aber sonst ähnlich, aber jetzt ist ein bisschen stressig. Aber ich musste wahrscheinlich ein bisschen mehr Medizin nehmen. Ich weiß es nicht.
Shaiva Mamarchana, Kurvam Siddhu,